Hello everyone, this is Javamonk, and welcome to a brand new showcase of a farm that I designed. This is a course plant farm, which is relatively small, extremely compact, and it farms both fruit and flowers. This is very different from all of my previous designs in that you will get a surplus of course flowers. This design works in updates 1.14 and above, which you can see why once I switch the farm on. Your yield from this farm is approximately 32 course fruit per hour and approximately 7 course flowers per hour. In total, the actual farm takes up an area of 7 blocks wide, 7 blocks deep, and 13 blocks tall. As for the yellow stained glass, on this side the yellow stained glass represents possible area you will need because there are slime blocks over here that go up and down, plus over here, and the yellow stained glass over here is for your on and off switch for this farm. You do have to turn the farm on and off, but you can have this switch wherever you want. The way this farm works is with a brand new mechanic that came with update 1.14, and that is, if an arrow hits a course flower, then the course flower will break and drop an item. So this means you no longer have to be the player no longer has to both break and place a flower, which is perfect. To use this farm, all you have to do is place a course flower, and then turn the farm on. Once the farm is on, you can just stand right on top of this carpet here, and then right-click on the end stone. Just keep right-clicking that, and the farm will take care of everything else. After a certain amount of time passes, at which point the plant will usually grow to its fully mature size, arrows will automatically come flying down and break all the course flowers. Once that happens, it will then wash out the rest of the plant, at which point the player can plant a brand new flower. Any flowers that are received that are dropped from this process are given to the player, and any surplus flowers are automatically put into this chest. So the 7 flowers per hour, that's surplus flowers. Now because you will get a surplus, it's very likely you will get a surplus, you only really need to bring 5 flowers into the farm. It also means you have to set up your inventory where every single slot is filled, except for 1 slot with a course flower. And there you go. That is how this farm works. This farm even comes with a failsafe system. So, if the farm runs out of arrows, for example, let's just block off this hopper, just to kind of reenact what would happen. So say the farm runs out of arrows. What will happen is this comparator will turn off, which will be detected by the system, and it will stop the central hopper clock from even activating. So the farm will essentially shut itself off if it runs out of arrows, and it will automatically turn itself back on once new arrows appear. There is a slight chance with this farm that this happens. This will happen if the course plant decides to split 2 times in the process of growing, which is very, very rare. However, this flower is not in range of the dispenser to shoot the arrow at it. Now, the farm actually doesn't do anything about this. And the reason why is because I figured having 9 dispensers all shooting down in a 3x3 area is kind of a waste of resources, especially considering how rare this happens. And even when it does, it usually splits several more times. So you're still going to get a surplus. This does happen very rarely, and the farm does nothing about it. And these are the resources you will need to build this farm. So these are, you need 6 dispensers and 3 droppers. These are all sticky pistons. You can use any color glazed terracotta. And also, these are all items of choice to put into the hopper timer that actually powers the whole farm. These can be any blocks that conduct redstone, and these can be any kind of slab. And this scaffolding is not required, but it is recommended for pretty much any kind of project. To start off, we need to find out where to put the all-important end stone. Without this end stone, you don't have a course plant farm. So, where you place this end stone, first you find the middle of whatever area you're using. So you can go just straight in the middle of the 7x7 area, and then from the floor of this area, go up 4 blocks, and then place an end stone right on top of that. Next, go out on one side of this end stone, go out 3 blocks, and I'm going to use a chest here to represent whatever storage system you're using. Go ahead and break those in between blocks, and replace them with hoppers that go directly to this chest here. Now, you will need a 2-block thick area of hoppers surrounding this end stone. So, just like this. These can be placed in any arrangement. However, leave this area empty, because this is where you're putting your dispenser. This dispenser will be spitting out the water bucket. To wash away the rest of the plant. Don't put the water bucket in just yet. Surrounding this platform of hoppers, you need to make a nice large wall, and this is kind of the cell of the. This is the growing cell for the course plant. So the walls of this cell need to be 5 blocks tall, just like this. Plus, you need to cap it off with a ceiling. Now, some of these blocks will not actually be used and will be replaced by something else. But for now, place in this cell. At this point, you should have a big box that looks like this. You don't need the corners at all. And the interior should be 5 blocks tall. So, once that is all built up, we actually need to tear out some of the ceiling. So, straight from the end stone, look straight up and break a plus around the end stone. And then replace that plus with dispensers. Just like this. Now would also be a good time to break a hole for yourself. So right here is your AFK spot. Now that you're outside, we need to make an AFK platform. So from the hole that you just dug out, go down 1 block from this hopper platform right here. This is where you're actually going to be standing, but don't yet place the carpet or anything like that. Instead, come out 3 blocks from there, and go ahead and place the input to your storage for course flowers over here. Now, break these 4 blocks here, and replace them with a hopper line that goes directly into this chest. And on this last hopper here, go ahead and place your carpet. This is mainly so that you don't fall into the hopper. And then place a dropper that faces this carpet in line with the hopper platform. Whoops. Now, coming from below the dropper, you need 2 more droppers that all face into this top dropper right here. It's also recommended that you place a block here on top of this hopper. So this way, this dropper, which is going to actually be giving you the course flowers, the surplus course flowers, they don't accidentally skip past you and land in this hopper. It's time to do the redstone. Now, a quick warning, this redstone is extremely tight-knit. So you may need to do this with a trapdoor. This is also a brand new feature with 1.14, in which you can use a trapdoor to crouch like this. You may need to do this. Just warning you. So firstly, we need a block down and over from this dropper, and we need a comparator output from here. What we're going to build is a smart dropper system, So, get a block in front of the comparator and another block in front of that with the redstone dust just like this. Now come up a block here and place a block just like this. So it should look like this. Place a repeater facing towards this comparator, and then place a slab over here and some redstone dust. Next, we need to actually power the droppers with this smart dropper system. So, from this redstone dust, place an upwards observer. This might be difficult. And then from this observer, place 2 more observers that face into this dropper right here. It should power all 3 of these droppers. Next, on the side of this upwards observer, place another observer like this, and an observer just like this. Now, next to this comparator, place a block, and coming off of this observer, place a repeater set to 4 ticks. Underneath this repeater with the block, place a piston facing this way. Now, this is actually part of the fail-safe system, but it is better if you follow these instructions in the order. So then, place a redstone block on the face of the sticky piston, and then place 2 pieces of redstone dust diagonally away from this redstone block, just like this. And right here at the end of this redstone line, you need to place a sticky piston facing this way, and this is where we're building the master hopper timer. So you need 2 hoppers facing each other. This is your standard ether hopper timer design. So now you need a comparator coming from the hopper, and a block, redstone here, a block here, and a comparator. Now, in these hoppers, you need to place 3 stacks plus 35 items. Next, place 2 pieces of redstone on top of these hoppers, and then you need to place a slab right here up from the redstone like this. Go ahead and break that block. Place a block above this piece of redstone, and then place a repeater right here. Next, place a block from coming off that repeater, and another one, and then go ahead and chain it back to this carpet here. Place some redstone, place a block on the end of this redstone here, place a lever, and flick it on. At this point, the farm is going to be disabled, so at this point, we can continue building the rest of it. Next, on the side of this block, place a redstone torch on the side, and then come up a block like this, and then place another block like this. At this point, place another block, and here you put a repeater. On these 2, you put redstone dust, and then at the end of the repeater, place a block and a sticky piston facing upwards. Over here now, place a block on top of this one over here, place a repeater, set that to 4 ticks, and then a sticky piston facing upwards, another block there, and the block to the side of that sticky piston. Then place a repeater on the other side of this block here, also set to 4 ticks. Place an observer on top of this repeater, and now you can actually break this block here, and place a block on top of the observer. And now you can put the water bucket into the dispenser. On top of this sticky piston, place 6 slime blocks, and you're going to need to be digging out part of the wall as you build up these slime blocks. So there's 6, and at the top of this tower, place a redstone block. Now, we're going to need to protect this wall and ceiling with glazed terracotta. So place 3 next to the redstone block, and then dig out these parts of the walls and replace them with glazed terracotta. Just like, try not to break the slime blocks, just like this. Optionally, you can also include glazed terracotta over here at the stem. It is at this point that you really need to start considering how you're going to distribute the arrows to these 5 dispensers. So, my recommendation, these 2 dispensers over here, place hoppers pointing down into them. Over here, place hoppers in kind of a horseshoe pattern here. These 2 hoppers feed this dispenser right here. This hopper feeds this dispenser, and these 2 hoppers face this dispenser. So, there you go. Next, you need to place some redstone in this shape right here. Just like this. It should look kind of like a question mark, or maybe a hook. On the other side of this hooky redstone, you need to break this block and also this block. This bottom block, replace it with a downwards facing observer. Should look like this. Now, going down and diagonal from this observer, place a sticky piston also facing downwards. And now replace these two blocks of the wall with slime blocks. Now, the blocks next to these slime blocks need to be replaced with glazed terracotta, and also one below that, because the sticky piston is going to be extending downwards, and you don't want it to be grabbing the parts of the walls of the course plant farm. So what this system here is, it's going to be the failsafe system. Now, in order to actually activate it, we need to place in the sorting system. So I've been holding off until now because this part of the circuit's very difficult to build if you already have the sorting system built. So now, coming from this hopper right here, come down a block like this, and place a hopper facing to the side just like this. Now, go down one more block, so it should look like this, and place a comparator facing away from this hopper. Next, place a block coming off the comparator like this, and then down diagonally, and you need to make this shape right here. Now, place two pieces of redstone on top, just like this. You need a repeater facing into this block, and a redstone torch right there. And now, coming from this dropper line, from this bottom dropper, you need to place hoppers just like this. To make this an actual sorting system, you need some coarse flowers already. So place 18 coarse flowers in here, in this slot, and then you can fill the other 4 slots with whatever other items you want. I'm just going to use more coarse flowers. And then the remaining coarse flowers actually need to go into this dropper right here. This is also where you can just grab the coarse flowers so that you can start AFKing. Now comes the tricky part. On the side of this hopper that has all the coarse flowers in it, place an observer facing down. And then on the other side of the hopper stream, place another observer also facing down, and then place a block right there. So after all of that, so there should be a big long chain of observers like this. And now you need to come all the way back up to the top and place a comparator right there. So this will activate, by default, the failsafe will have already activated. So at this point, you can turn the farm on and off however you want, and it's not going to activate. And it will not activate until you fill these dispensers with arrows, or at least put some arrows into them. Now all you need is a sign right here at the AFK spot. You can write whatever you want at this. And this sign is mainly for higher random tick speeds, because at higher random tick speeds, the plants grow faster, but also the water flows faster. So you may want this sign. And now we need to actually find a way to distribute these arrows. So this is outside of the bounding box of the actual farm. So I'm going to show you how my very inefficient way of distributing these arrows. Beware, this system is pretty inefficient. So you can place a chain of hoppers going kind of in a spiral shape like this. This does unfortunately mean that you have to fill every single one of these hoppers with arrows. So then grab your chest/barrels full of arrows and fill it up. Once these dispensers start filling with arrows, you should notice that this comparator turns on, which turns off the failsafe. This is a good sign, and this redstone block should not be powering this redstone line right here. This is a good sign. This means the farm is working. This farm should work now. So all you have to do is search this dropper and grab yourself 5 coarse flowers, and then plant the flower and hold down right click. And also you actually have to turn it on. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please let me know, and thank you for watching. I hope this farm is useful to you.